broken cymbals, wrecking my drum kit, orange juice. All of that stuff adds up to not only be the worst drummer I've ever recorded, but hold your band back from making a sick song. Hey, what's up? I just woke up. I stayed at the studio last night because I am 2 full lengths deep, working on an EP right now. Also doing another full length remotely with this band CF98 from Poland and a couple straggler single mixes. So it was a late night. I'm just waking up. I got my coffee, so let me drink some of this and then tell you the most horrific drum story of all time. But real quick, yeah, if you haven't seen the other video, it's got like 300,000 views and every single person is commenting saying, why didn't you have an amp attenuator? If that's the worst person you ever recorded, then you got a great career, blah, 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 blah. Brother, this is YouTube. I can't tell you the really bad stuff that could put me in jail or the person in jail. PG-13. But with that being said, being in jail, this story kind of has a little bit to do with that. So wait till the end for that. I've never seen this happen before. So anyway, this was 10 years ago. So I was 21. I just moved back into my parents' house, really struggling to make this a full-time thing. I was still touring in bands, driving for Uber, recording bands, booking shows, doing the whole thing. So, you know, if a band hit me up and were like, hey, we got $150 for you to produce our song and mix it and master it and record all our parts, I would just say, hell yeah, let the band in and get cruising and try my best so that hopefully one day it could grow into something like this, a studio in a 1-car garage. We got a pool and a hot tub out back, and I got an apartment outside of this. So anyway, there I was, 21 years old, recording in my parents' basement still. When they went away on vacation, I renovated their entire basement myself, carrying all the sheetrock down to the basement. 60 pounds. I was 60 pounds, carrying that sheetrock down to the basement. I built the room to have a control room and a live room, and it ended up being too small, so I had to flip the rooms. Putting 7 dudes trying to make it in the music industry into one small control room half the size is not the move. So anyway, my friend's band hit me up. I knew the guitarist already. We had actually played some shows together, and we had tried to start some bands together at some point. It just never really panned out. He was like, yo, I got this metalcore band. You're the freaking dude to record our band. He probably just didn't have a lot of money to go to somebody better when I was 21. So anyway, I knew the one dude in the band. I didn't know anybody else in the band. And it's pretty normal for the band members to not ride together, especially as a local band, showing up at different times to the studio. So I got a text from my buddy. He was like, yo, my drummer's at your house early. Just go out and get him set up and whatever. So I go outside. He shows up. First thing I see, ripped cymbal bag, pretty normal for a local band. I start helping bring his gear in, say what's up to him, ask him the general questions. How long you been playing? Who are your favorite drummers? What are your favorite bands? So he says he loves Christian metal, and I totally get it. I love For Today and, you know, adjacent bands like that. I'm not super religious, but the songs are sick. But as I'm carrying a cymbal bag down to the studio, I take a little gander in and I see all the cymbals are like starter pack cymbals, which is fine, but they were all cracked. So not recording quality. And my first thought in my brain is like, oh, great. He has to use my cymbals, which, like, again, I'm recording bands for $150 a pop or $100 a pop, whatever, at the time. I can't afford to keep buying new cymbals. I'd have to record like 1,000 bands to get a set of a custom cymbals at that point. But anyway, whatever, you know, I'm still on the come up. I'm happy to let him use my cymbals so that the song can turn out better. So we start setting up. He's using my shells, my cymbals, my stands. He's using his own kick pedal, which is cool. I don't remember if he brought his own snare. If he did, it was probably just some like Yamaha starter kit snare, some metal snare or something. But anyway, we set him up and he's like, could I start jamming? I was like, oh, why don't we wait till the band gets here? They're about to be here. Maybe we'll chill for a little bit, get some food, and then get into it so we can really just lock in and make a sick song. Eventually, the rest of his bandmates get there and we're chilling, we're talking. I say what's up to everybody. Everybody seems to have really nice instruments and really knows what's up. Seems like besides the drummer. And then we're like, yo, why don't we just send somebody out to do a 7-Eleven run real quick, get some snacks for the day before we really get into this thing. And I'm loading up the demo at the same time. And we're asking everybody in the room, what do they want? This part doesn't have to do with the worst drummer, just like a weird thing. But I asked the drummer, I was like, yo, what do you want? You know, from the control room as he's setting up in the live room. He's like, just get me an orange juice. And me joking around, I'm like, any brand? You know, like not thinking it like actually matters. And I forget what brand he said, but he was like, Florida City orange juice. Make sure it's the most pulp possible. And I'm like, okay, like thinking he's joking. And he's like, no, like a lot of pulp. And I'm like, do you want an orange? No, he just really loves pulp. But anyway, that's his drink of choice while he's busting his ass playing drums, sweating to rehydrate, is a lot of pulp orange juice. I'm not judging. Maybe it's sick. Maybe that's the sauce to being the worst drummer I've ever recorded. recorded. Anyway, we get the demo in and we're gearing up to get ready. I'm like, yo, see what your chops are like. Go ahead, start ripping that kick. And he starts hitting really freaking hard, which usually is a really good thing. But there's a difference between hitting hard and precise and just like caveman beating the cymbal. Like they owe you orange juice. And as soon as he starts doing that, I'm like, well, there goes my cymbals. At least he's hitting hard. At least it'll be easy to edit. There's one thing I can tell when he's playing the drums, he doesn't have chops. For example, there's something in editing, like if you're, you know, human and going in and out of time slightly, but your groove is good, easy to edit. I can make it sound sick no matter what, even if you're not hitting. But if your limbs are not connected seemingly to the same brain and you're hitting the cymbal 1, 4, kick is on 1 and 3, snares on 2 and 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? If you're hitting anything at any time other than 1, 2, 3, 4, disconnected from your other limb, not editable. But what happens when I try to move the kick onto beat and your cymbal is hitting an 8th note early, half an 8th note early, a 16th early? I can sort of flam it, but your whole part is going to sound weird, the weird flams and the crossfades, and it's just really tough to make it work. But I knew this at 21 after recording tons of bad drummers because we were all just 20-year-olds. But as soon as he started doing that, I looked at my buddy in the band and I was like, yo, I think we should just program the drums. The dude couldn't hear me and he was like, yeah, just like bring it up to the drummer. Like nobody wants to be the bad guy to tell him that. He just set up, he just drank his orange juice, he's ready to go. So, you know, I have the conversation with him and I'm like, listen, man, like I hear you playing, I love that you're hitting hard, but there's just a different level to recording drums that we need today, especially for this metalcore stuff with breakdowns and whatever. And I'm like, and I said, you know, you're paying for the session. I'm happy to grind it out with you, but it would be better serving for the song if maybe we could program the drums for now, record everything to that. You can practice. Especially if we make any changes to the song, you can practice it, really get it locked in, come back and just smash it out in one take. But again, you're setting up, it's totally your call and the band's call, you know, let them have a vote, hopefully to help me out, but nobody speaks up. Totally your call. Like, I'm happy to grind it out with you, but here's what I'm suggesting as your producer to try to help you write a good song so that you can make a living in music, right? Pretty normal conversation to have with anybody who isn't like super studio savvy or doesn't record all the time. Doesn't mean you can't play. It just means studio recording is a different type of beast. In this case, this dude was not good at drums. I'm being nice. But yeah, he wasn't good. So of course he chose, I want to grind it out. I want to play the drums. I came here to play the drums. And I'm like, okay, let us do it. So we do have a demo. With that in mind, I don't overly change anything. I don't overly push anything too creative that's going to get him out of demoitis world of what the song is, because I've seen people really clam up if they can't quickly learn a part or hang or have groove. You know, it's just more like I practice the song and I'm going to go record it. So anyway, we go to start recording the drums. I start getting all the signals of everything. Everything sounds good. You know, as I'm like, hit the snare, it sounds good. Hit the rack, it's my kit. I had it mic'd up already. I have my overheads. I have my treatment for the room. It's dialed. It's a small kit that I like cut the kick drum in half, but I really dialed it in so it sounds sick and it's easily triggerable and easily editable. So we go to start recording, and what's expected happens is me saying, do it again, rushing. Oh, try to just be more on the beat. You know, it's a struggle of a recording session, but that's not the part that makes him the worst drummer ever. What makes him the worst drummer ever, and as we're going through this drum recording, he has like little parts in the verse where it's rim clicks, but usually you do that on the snare, you do that on the rack, you know, like stick click sort of a thing, but he's doing it on my kick drum and I'm watching the wood dust fly up into the air as he's doing it. The whole situation is just painful for me to watch because I'm not getting paid that much. But anyway, we really get into the thick of it and he's doing the intro. It's like this big slamming thing. And every time he's playing, it's getting a little better, but every time he's playing, I'm hearing this delayed click. It sounds like it's coming from the kick drum, but I can't really tell what it is. So I run in there, I adjust some mics. I'm like, nothing's hitting, right? Is it a cable? Like something weird? So I go in there, I'm like, yo, just play the drums real quick. And he plays drums and I hear the click. It's really loud, like freaking drumstick on metal loud, like this. It sounds like that. Clank. And I'm like, dude, what is clanking? I freaking bend down, look at the kick drum, look at the kick pedal, and everything looks normal. And I'm like, hit the kick again. And he hits it. Clank. And I'm like, what the hell was that? That was weird. And then I put my ear closer. I'm like, hit the kick drum. Clank. Every single freaking time. And I get really close to it. I'm like, hit it really softly. He hits it. It's like, boom. And then a slow clank after it. I was like, what was that, dude? I was like, is it your shoes? I was like, take your shoes off. Takes his shoes off. He does it again. Clank. I'm like, what is going on? Prosthetic leg? No. I look at his leg. There's this bulge in his pant leg. And I'm like, yo, pull up your pant leg real quick. And he has a freaking ankle monitor on, dude. That's what's hitting the side of the kick pedal and it's clanking. And I did all this dissecting to try to figure out what this clanking was. And he just didn't tell me he had an ankle monitor. Is he in trouble? Is the FBI gonna raid my parents' basement and hear this terrible metalcore band? So anyway, I'm like, oh, dude, I think that thing on your ankle is hitting the kick drum and it's making some weird noise. He's like, oh, yeah, I just got that yesterday. And I didn't ask him what he got it from, but like, are you allowed to do that? Like, if you get an ankle monitor, can you freaking go to the studio and record drums? Like, are you allowed to leave your house or wherever he was? I don't know. All I know is that was stupid and I didn't know how I was gonna make the recording session work. I think we ended up just like, I was like, yo, just tuck it up there, like get it away from the kick drum. And then it was finally up and we were able to record the rest of the song. But all that being said, broken cymbals, wrecking my drum kit, not hitting precise, but hitting way too hard so that he's gonna break my freaking cymbals, orange juice, ankle monitor, all of that stuff adds up to not only be the worst drummer I've ever recorded, but hold your band back from making a sick song and help it and letting me help you make a great song, you know? So yeah, that was the worst drummer I've ever recorded. When I say that's the worst drummer that I've ever recorded, there's definitely been plenty of other worse drummers, but this is the freaking story that I decided to tell while I was drinking my morning coffee. I hope you guys have a great day. And with this story, my best advice for you is practice your drums, learn how to not break your cymbals as often, and don't get arrested. Cheers. Speaking up 'cause I feel so